I'm here with Asa Winstanley. The morning after the police were here, and I've just spoken to you downstairs about what happened, and it's pretty terrifying. What can you tell us a bit about what happened, just so people know?
Yes, well, at 20 to 6 yesterday morning, police came, Counter-Terror Command came, there was about 10 of them, and they basically barged into the house. You know, they were ringing on the doorbell. It was quite terrifying, and all in all, they were here for about 3 hours, and they took away all of my devices that I use for my work as a journalist, and they made it very clear that they knew what my profession was, they knew who I was, and this was in regards to social media posts that I'd made. They didn't specify which ones. They didn't arrest me, thankfully. They did let me speak to my solicitor on the day, but I was really given no choice. But although I registered my objections very strongly to what they were doing, I was given no choice, and they took away my means of livelihood, if nothing else. You know, it's questions of principle aside. Yeah, my computer was here, an iMac was gone. They took my main computer. You can see my my expired press pass, but it just happened to be there. Kind of poignant, the fact that they've taken a journalist's computer away. They took my laptop, my phone. They took an old phone that they found, a hard drive, an iPad, and a box of an old phone. I think that was everything. Essentially, it was all my main devices that they took that I use for my journalism. And yeah, it's very strange to me. You know, they didn't charge me with any crime or even arrest me, and yet they still are able to take all this stuff. They said that I will get it back in the future. I told them I doubt that, and that, you know, that there's a long, at the least it would take a very long period of time to get them back. So in the meanwhile, you know, my editor at the Electronic Intifada and all my colleagues at the Electronic Intifada have been very supportive, and they will replace all this. We'll rebuild again. But meanwhile, this is a blow. You know, it's definitely a blow. But you know, thankfully, people speaking out about similar things happening to them in the past, I think, is making a difference. The fact that they didn't arrest me, the fact that although it was a kind of an inherently violent process, they weren't, in my case, they weren't personally rude or physically violent. And I know they have been with others in the past, with other activists and journalists. And I think, you know, making it difficult for them when they do this and kicking up a fuss about it, basically objecting to it, is what we have to do if we wanted to stop it from happening. And thank you for coming today, Crispy, because it is nice to see a friendly face. And I'm not back on Twitter yet, but I will be soon. And your messages of support are all reaching me, so I really appreciate everyone who's reached out.
I mean, I interviewed you about a month or so ago about the possibility of this happening, and you thought it might happen, but they came really early. I mean, you wouldn't have expected that time. It's like, even if you're prepared in some way, it's still traumatic.
I knew from, you know, reading and reporting on accounts of others that this has happened to, that this is the usual sort of time that it comes. And so you do try and prepare for it in that way, but you can never really be prepared. And I you know, we in the household we'd had discussions about it, the possibility of it happening, but you're never actually really prepared, because it's yes, something that has a psychological impact, and I think that's part of the intended effect, to be honest with you. It seems like they're not even charging me with the crime, and yet they've taken away all my means of doing journalism. It just seems like nothing but a harassment and a way to stop journalists who are reporting on what is the Holocaust of our times? What is the genocide of the Israelis in the Gaza Strip? There's likely 200,000 people that have been killed so far. On Monday, we saw those horrific scenes of this young man being burned alive in the Gaza Strip. We all saw it. We wake up every morning to new crimes, to new reports of babies being killed and men, women and children just being annihilated in the Gaza Strip, and now Lebanon as well. And the British authorities, instead of doing anything against that, are still carrying on in their involvement with it, with military aid, not military aid, but military armament, political aid, political support, diplomatic support, and with intelligence, as my friend Matt Kennard has reported a lot about, intelligence and overflights of the Gaza Strip of the British military, they're punishing the people who are trying to do something about it, trying to stop it from happening. So yeah, it's an injustice. That's what I said to them. I did try and talk to them, appeal to their humanity, and they did. Some of them, at least, did seem to look ashamed. So,
and what do you think about the threat to journalism? I mean, you are a very thorough researcher and investigative journalist who checks the facts and everything that you go through meticulously, every detail. How they can come in here and make out that your reporting is somehow something to do with terrorism. I mean, this is really concerning and not really reported by other journalists. I mean, have you reached out to other journalists on this? I mean, you've got a NUJ card there. I see.
The NUJ have been supportive, and there'll be more said about that soon. All I can say for now, watch this space. Basically, there will be a lot more said about this, and I've got a lot more phone calls to make today. So that's all I can say about all that for now. But we'll be back. I'll be back, and I'll be back stronger than before.
Right. Okay. Well, it sounds like Arnie is a good.
I'll be back.
A good ending. Yeah, a bit like Arnie. Right. Okay. No, thank you for all you're doing. I just want you to know that I came over not knowing if you'd open the door. I was a bit worried about invading your territory, but I just wanted to say that loads of people sending messages, and I just think you need to be back because we need you.
Thank you. I'm sorry I can't respond to everyone right now, but I will get around to it as soon as possible, as soon as I've got everything back up and running again. Yeah. Thank you.